5 of
Hello,
Walk, Talk, and Brock.
Brock.
What do you think of that intro, Alyssa?
That was good. That was amazing.
That was
Trademark it.
one of the better ones. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I'm here today with Alyssa D'Souza, one of our sports editors. Welcome to the show. You've been here for this is your second year?
Second year at the press. Unfortunately, my last.
Oh no. Well, maybe
Yeah,
you'll write volunteer articles for us after
of
you're done.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, so you are one of our two sports editors, along with
Yes.
Jonah, who's new to the press this year. And I've been meaning to get a sports editor on here for a while.
I know our sports editors have always been so like mysterious, you know.
They are. Yeah, I was talking at training this year about how sports editors just don't show up to any team
I
building events.
know. We do have our reputation, but
Yes,
you know, I hope Jonah is breaking that.
I hope so. I hope you'll break that by the end of the year.
I'm sure. Yes,
I
yes.
know. I remember at training, I was like, Jonah and Alyssa, you guys know you better come to some team building events
Yeah.
this year. But yeah, so I am not the most sportsy person.
Okay.
I actually learned a lot about sports through this role in editing your work, and
Mm,
Jonah's work. This will be kind of like an interesting experiment to see how
yes.
our two worlds kind of collide.
Yeah, for sure. And I've honestly, through my articles and reading like past sports editors, I have learned a lot too. Like I went to knowing nothing, honestly, because I had to
Yeah,
do my own research. So it was like we were same boat, both learning.
there you go. And yeah, you cover a lot of social justice in sports, which
Yes.
we're going to talk about, I'm sure. And that for me is a little easier to understand than sometimes, all of the sports terminology and whatnot, which I kind of have to Google as I go along. So it is digestible and accessible for me, which is great, but I also am open to all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
I will say we have Andrea here, our showrunner, as always. Wave. There you go. As usual, so if you hear someone giggling off camera, you know who it is. That's Andrea. Okay, so I thought we could start by talking a little bit about your articles and some stuff that you've written recently.
So, like we said, my sports writing is mainly about the social injustices in sports, and I obviously focused on women, women of color, women in general, female coaches. I wanted
Mhm.
to do with the press, and I said in my like interview was like I wanted to shed a new light or give the press a new touch as to like okay, we have our Brock games. We do great. We have our teams, but also behind sports, there are injustices that any team faces, whether that's Brock, whether that's WNBA, whether that's tennis, anything. And I think shedding light on that is mainly what I wanted to do coming into this role.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you've definitely been successful in that, from my opinion. I noticed that very quickly, like at the start of your tenure at the press last year, even. And I think that it's such a unique element of sports that's so important to talk about that
Yeah.
doesn't always get talked about. I know before you started here, I mostly saw the sports section as just recaps of games and whatnot, which
Yeah.
of course those are highly important, don't
Yes.
get me wrong.
Yes.
And we still have a lot of that. But to talk about different things going on within sports, I think
Yep.
is also important. You wrote
Yeah.
one recently. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone here. Yeah, the hidden bias in sports
Yeah.
broadcasting. Maybe you want to like pull that up over the screen right now. But just the words that are used for women, and the words that are used for men, and kind of
Yeah.
like how they're different, that I honestly would not have noticed without this article, because it's just
Yeah.
so, I think, ingrained. You wrote that Camila Cardoso was described as I apologize if I mispronounced that, was
No.
described during a broadcast as, quote, a big Brazilian girl who knocks down people,
Yep.
whereas male players are described as dominant in the paint, physically imposing, or rim protector, and just the different kinds of words that are used. So
Yeah.
I remember editing that one and being really impressed and reflecting while reading that.
Yeah, that I find too, a lot of black women face that type of scrutiny in the WNBA. I've written about this a lot because this is something I'm very passionate about, but the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, how they were being seen or like in the media. Caitlin Clark was referred to as a savior, the reason why everyone's watching basketball. And then they built this narrative around Angel Reese that was, she's a thug, she's ghetto, she's this and she's that. And they did the same thing with Camila Cardoso, where he describes her as a big Brazilian woman. Like, it was to the point where Coach Don, her coach at the time, had to tell this broadcaster to apologize.
Yeah.
Because When we see LeBron dominating in the paint, when we see, Shaq, we describe these men as dominant. We say they carry the team, they're the GOAT. So many positive connotations that are associated to their position rather than, women are meant to be big, that's basically the root where it's coming from. And I feel like there's like a huge like umbrella. It's a huge spectrum, because then we have microaggressions, and then we have sexism, and then blatant racism, and they all come down to one thing, and it's the scrutiny of colored women in these sports. And I wrote a paper on this, like a 10-page research paper on how women are presented throughout the media. We see Instagram comments, they're calling these men the GOAT. They're saying, you played so well last night, right? But then we have women where we're objectifying them. Oh, you look so good. The men and the women are not getting the same kind of attention. And honestly, this plays a role into why men's sports are looked at differently rather than women. Because now we're saying, okay, we're watching the men's sports for skills, but in reality, we are watching the women's sports for skills. They're just making up narratives to prove their point that women's sports are lesser than men's.
Yeah. And that's something that whenever there's a new round of people who come into the press, we always make it very clear in training. I remember my first time at the press, our editor-in-chief at the time too, Holly, we always say that, within the Brock press, women's and men's sports are considered equal. We want to give equal coverage to both. That's something that's super important to us. I remember when you and Jonah were starting out this year. You've obviously been here before, but when the new year was starting, I acknowledged you typically like to write a lot about women's stories. Yeah. So Jonah, I said maybe he wants to write about men's stories, or you can kind of like work between the two of you. But yeah, there definitely is a real imbalance there. Yeah. I feel like I'm maybe not the best person to speak on it, but I mean, you know a lot more about it than I do. I'm glad that you're here at the press to shed some light on that and to bring your perspective to that. Yeah. I think it's important.
And I think like it all started with me like growing up being an athlete my whole life. I was the captain for my high school basketball team. So it would be like, oh, I don't go to the girls' game, but I'll be at the guys. And it starts there. It's rooted into our minds. I remember Rakia Jackson, she did an interview and they're like, who's your favorite NBA player? And she goes, oh, I don't watch the NBA. And I thought that was just so powerful because that's what we get all the time. And honestly, in my opinion, the WNBA is much more entertaining than the men's because these women are playing to broadcast their skills. Because again, they're not getting paid millions of dollars. Their salaries are like in the hundreds for yearly. Their salary comes from brands and like deals. So I think with the men, they don't have to work as hard as the women because the women need their skill to be recognized. And that's why the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, NCAA, LSU versus Iowa State finals blew up because we wanted to see more. We saw skill. We were entertained. And I think that these women do this and they don't get the recognition for that because they're like, oh, who watches women's sports anyways? But stats prove otherwise, like women's sports have grown, especially basketball, have grown significantly because these players are coming in to broadcast their skill because that's what they have. People watch for that. They don't have a nest of money that's guaranteed for them,
Yeah. Yeah, the women are fighting sort of, like you said, kind of an uphill battle.
Yeah.
It sounds like, and you clearly have been following that. I mean, you're an athlete yourself.
Yeah.
What sports do you play?
Basketball, well, played, retired. Sometimes I'll go to the gym here, play pickup, whenever I have time. But no, basketball has always been my sport since like a kid. And you see it all the time, like even playing the sport, even obviously I didn't reach a high like level, but I played in school and out of school. And it would be like, oh, who's going to the women's games? Oh, you're not that good. Oh, but it's the women's team. It's not as hard as the men. It's
so like something you experienced within your time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And what stuck out to me in that article that I mentioned earlier that you wrote about hidden bias is that it's not always that explicit, too.
Yeah.
It's not always someone coming to you and telling you to your face that they think less of it. It's so much of it comes down to the wording. And I think that's why sometimes, like for me, it's slipped through the cracks. Granted, I mean, I don't watch sports all that much in general, but from what I have seen, I mean, that hidden bias sort of slips right through.
Also, you might think, okay, I just said this. I snuck in a word. I unintentionally, but these things are so significant, or they like cause so much damage because they build the narrative. This is what the narrative is supported on. This is like the root of the narrative. It's like, oh, I said this, but I'll apologize. You might not even say, but it's implanted into you that you're saying these things. You're not saying these about men. You're saying these about women because that's what you were taught. That's how you feel. You know, you don't say things, especially when you're live air. So I think these biases that broadcasters say contribute significantly to the narrative around women's sports.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Thank you for that. Is there anything else you want to touch on in regards to social justice in sports before we move on to sort of the thing
Justice.
we had planned? I'm excited for that as well.
Yes, no, I think social justice I basically covered, like the microaggressions, the sexism, and also I said how Black women are described in sports. Like we see Serena Williams. Like I've seen way too many people compare her to a man. I've seen way too many people like come down on these women, Black women, and compare them to what they like feel as if it's like strong, you know, like again, it's microaggressions. This is like the angry Black woman. Words matter, and I think women in general face it, and then you have an umbrella, like we narrow it down. Now it's Black women. Now you're saying, oh, she's an angry Black woman. Yeah, because she was accused of theft. She smacked her racket on the floor and it broke. Like, there, I'm not allowed to be emotional. But if we see a Caucasian woman crying, that's like another thing of like the white girl tears. But that's like a whole different thing. But narratives, like, basically are what create these injustices throughout women's sports.
Do you, in regards to the word microaggressions, I'm curious what you mean. Do those, in your opinion, mostly come just through words, or the words that we use, or are there other kind of microaggressions that are faced?
Actions too. Like it could be words as in like passive aggressive comments, even when it comes down to hair. Well, obviously it's outside of sports and in sports, but in sports you could see a Black woman who's upset at a call, and then you say, oh, she's an angry Black woman. Like that is a microaggression, right? Or as a ref, you can call more because you're seeing, I'll say like more of a competitive situation going on, and you might call. And that right there could be, like, obviously don't know where the ref is coming from. But microaggression, yes, you see it through actions. It could be through fouls. And again, it's not just in sports. It's in everyday lives where you really have to look back and realize the reason why these actions exist, microaggressions exist, all this exists, is because what was rooted in us at first. Who was considered superiority, who created this hierarchy, and now we see it in everything. I just focus, obviously, on sports.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. And I think that the sports section with you in it is honestly so strong. You and Jonah complement each other a lot. I feel like you cover sort of these different bases on sports that I think contributes to this really excellent section. So thank you for that and for your coverage. Okay, I think that's a great segue into our next segment, which was actually, I have to give credit to Andrea for this because I did not think of this myself, but we discussed before this, we're going to go through some hot takes that each of us have about sports. I have 5 written down.
Okay.
Do you have around that amount written down?
Yes, I do. Not written down, but
okay, they're in your brain.
Mentally, that's it.
Mine are written down, so I'm going to pull them up here. Again, I want to be very clear that I don't watch sports all that much, so these are maybe not like about specific players and whatnot, but I thought we could go through them kind of back and forth and see if we agree with each other's hot takes, disagree, and maybe have a bit of conversation about those. Okay. Do you want to start?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
So
hit me with hot take number 1.
Hot takes. LeBron's son sucks. Bronny sucks. His way into the NBA was through his father, and I think he should have went to university. He should have took a route because he sucks.
Did you write about this? It sounds familiar.
Did I? I probably did. I probably did.
Oh my goodness. Okay. LeBron June, what's his name? See, I don't even know.
Bronny. Yeah, Bronny.
Bronny. Bronny sucks. Okay.
Bronny sucks. Yes.
Is that like? I'm genuinely asking. Is that like a super hot take in the sports world? Is everyone like gassing him up, glazing him?
We might get scrutinized for this, but I'm not a fan of LeBron James.
Okay. Well,
it's probably the
Bam.
Yeah, right there. I'll just put that on the table.
There we go.
No, but.
This is the Instagram clip that's going on Instagram, so be careful what you say.
This is our click right here. This is what's going to get us our views.
Okay, go on.
No, Bronny sucks. I don't think he should have came into the NBA. I think that he was in because of his father, and I think that he should have took the route. Because I do believe that LeBron is a very talented man, but I don't believe that Bronny has any of his talent. I think that like what makes LeBron LeBron is that he worked. He worked, and he didn't come from money, but he worked his way up. And I think for Bronny, I think he's too comfortable. And I think comfortability is scary. And we all know LeBron's dream before he was retired was to play with Bronny in the league. But I think that this was rushed. I don't think he could play, and I don't think he cares enough to play. I think this was just given to him, and he didn't have to work as hard as LeBron to get to where he at all. I'm going to say at all, but I think that he doesn't deserve what he has right now. And I think there's a lot of other people with less privilege working harder than he is, but don't have the same spot he does.
I'll respond to that as someone who, again, I'll preface this by saying I don't know anything about how he plays, okay? But I mean, I can speak to the idea of nepotism a little bit. I mean, yeah, if you're born as LeBron James's son, you're pretty much your future's probably already set in stone. So I think from that perspective, I can agree. You see this in acting quite a bit, where people who inherit a company because mommy or daddy, already owned it. So I think that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I don't know how he plays myself. Do you know anything about this? Do you agree that Bronny sucks?
I'll be neutral because I don't know much about it.
I think she should agree because I said it.
You're the expert, so I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to trust you. Okay. I'm going to hit you with my first hot take. Okay. Which is one that actually I was looking up hot takes before this. And just like, what do I agree with? Because I needed a little bit of help, but then this one came and it was pretty good. Extreme sports betting, by which I mean a lot of money, takes the fun out of sports.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do have a story about this.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Jonte Porter. He was coming to be somebody, in the league. And he fumbled basically because what he would do is he would get his little friends on the outside and say, I'm going to play this many minutes. Like, tell him what he's going to do throughout the game, his statistics. The friends would go place money on it, win their money, and then he would, like, fake injuries. He would come out.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they were, like, catching on, obviously. And, like, they had a whole FBI investigation on this circle without them even knowing. He got caught and banned from the league.
Wow. So it's all confirmed that this was happening and whatnot.
Yeah, it just happened, like, last year. So it was, like, not only does it take out the fun, but look at what you did. Like,
the integrity, is gone. Well, I mean, I remember, I think you wrote about that too. That sounds familiar. For me, I mean, where my take was coming from, I wasn't even considering that, but I definitely agree. Obviously, that's messed up. I just mean, like, when sports becomes about you want a team to win because you placed hundreds of dollars on them, Andrea, you mentioned that you know some people who do that. Yeah, she's nodding her head. And I don't know anything about sports, again, so it would be a foolish move for me to bet on sports, but I think when you bet a lot of money on anything that's meant to be kind of just fun, it can become a problem.
And, okay, I don't know how to do that, sports bet, but if you want to bet, go watch, like, those horse races. Like, I don't know. It is ruining the industry. It is ruining sports because now your passion isn't on your team. It's on whatever hundreds you're about to lose or about to make. And I think that also goes into the unity of the game. When you're at a Raptors game or whatever, like, I personally love going to a game. And why? Because everyone's there for the same reason. Everyone's happy. Everyone is just like, okay, we come together, and especially the Raptors because we're the only Canadian team. We come together and we're passionate about this team because this is our team. So then now when we put into these aspects of, okay, I just placed $500 on this player, you're worried about the wrong things. And I think that takes away from the passion and the enjoyment because actually you're genuinely stressed. Because if I go to a Raptors game or I watch a Raptors game, it is stressful, but it's not stressful to the point where it affects my life. Especially what the Raptors are doing now where they want to score 2 points in the last 3 seconds to win a game, like where they're tied, when they want to leave us on the edge of our seats. But that's like thrilling. That's what I like, But you could say, gambling's thrilling, but it's not affecting my life watching this game. And I'm on the edge of my seat. The score's 115, 114. We need a basket. We make it. We won. It's not. I'm about to lose $700.
And that's. I want to clear up as well why I said like extreme sports betting. I think if you bet like $5 on something like that, I don't have a problem. I understand you want to raise the stakes a little bit, right? Just for fun. I don't think that's harmful, at least not yet.
Yeah.
But I think if you're betting hundreds of dollars, there's maybe an issue there. And you're taking the
And then
fun.
if you win, you're gonna do it again and again.
You're gonna go again, and you're gonna spend it again and again and again. And these sports betting ads are everywhere. It's like get out of here. I don't want. I'm not.
Literally, I'm like, get away. Like I don't. Stop
Okay.
harassing.
You have a second hot take.
Okay. The NHL
Okay.
and okay, so I'm not gonna say NHL. I'm gonna say hockey and football are actually very, and I would say, I don't want to say toxic, but I would say harmful.
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 Okay.
So we see stuff like Aaron Hernandez, and I don't think the leagues pay attention to the impact the sport has on the athletes. I think the leagues are very selfish. And okay, my hot take would be leagues are selfish. Like that would be point blank period. Because you're not caring for your athletes' health. They're there to make your money. And we have these cases like Aaron Hernandez where his brain was so damaged from the football that everyone was shocked. But he ended up killing people. Like these things have an effect on you, but also you see the signs. Like they always say, like serial killers have the signs as they want to kill animals, they want to do this, want to do that. But these athletes come out of the NHL, the NFL, or football, hockey with issues they didn't have going in. And I think the leagues need to do better to protect their players. That would be my hot take.
Do you think the league doesn't care because they're just there as moneymakers? Is that what you're saying?
100% I believe that, because when we have situations where players want to take stances in social justice, the league will shut that down. Like I remember the football player didn't kneel for the American anthem, right? And he got in trouble for that because the league got flamed. They're like, oh, you're going to allow one of your players to do this? And they genuinely don't care. Because if they did, they would back up their player. They'll say, okay, this is how we feel on this take. But it's at the end of the day, who's bringing me my money? Who's giving me my money? Aaron Hernandez was a great football player. He was bringing in a lot. But what he was taking in was way worse. Because now the man's dead, right? Arrested, and then he killed himself in prison. So these things have an effect. And I think the league just doesn't care. When Aaron Hernandez was in the league, he made the money. He made the money that they needed. And then now look where, the league just doesn't care for the health, I would say, for the players.
I mean, yeah, I would agree that the health of players is very important. I think it'd be an L take to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while I don't know enough about the specifics, or I don't know as much about the specific stories as you do, Eddie, but the one that you mentioned about not kneeling for the anthem, it's like, what does that have to do with sports? Why is that being penalized,
Yeah.
Other than just because it hurts a bottom line, maybe?
Yeah, literally.
So I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Okay. Let me pull up my next one here. Golf is actually fun to watch.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Ready for a rationale?
Let me maybe rephrase that. Golf is one of the more fun sports to watch. All right? As someone who doesn't I'm getting like so much weird reaction right now. Let me justify it. I think that it's more accessible for me as someone who doesn't really watch sports. I know what's going on. I don't have to follow this ball around the court the whole time. This is so embarrassing. This is the most embarrassing opinion I could have gone with.
You're in a safe space.
It's this wide open golf course. You follow the ball across. It's simple. You go for the least amount of strokes possible. And I think it's just kind of cool. It reminds me of Wii Sports.
Yeah.
I have good impressions of golf. I think it's satisfying watching a golf ball be flown across a golf field. I don't even know what golf field is. That's not even
I don't even know.
the golf course. The other side, it just makes sense. And trying to minimize strokes. I know that's really a weak defense.
No.
That is not a good defense. But I think that golf
Okay.
is one of the more fun ones, in my opinion. What do you think about that? I'm gonna guess that you do not agree with that.
I disagree.
Shocker.
Like, do you like watching it? Is that Like,
Well,
if
no,
you
I don't
sit
sit there
down-
watching golf all day.
Okay.
But like if I had to watch a sport all day, golf would
Okay.
be, I would pick golf first. I feel like it's just easier to digest.
Okay, I can agree with you on this because I do like going out with the girls and playing mini golf. That is something I do indulge in, and that is golf. So I do like golf, but to sit down and watch, I don't think
I wouldn't go there.
I can digest.
I wouldn't go there. Do the spectators have to like follow the ball? How does that even work?
I don't even know. Like my grandpa, I saw before that they have like this arrow that would go across that shows you where the ball goes. You know,
I like that.
like
See?
Wii Sports, exactly
Like Wii Sports.
Yeah.
That's my third hot take, is that sports should be
Okay.
replaced with Wii Sports. Actually.
Okay.
I'm joking. Okay, all right, so we don't agree on that one. That's fair. I love the reaction I had from both of you. You couldn't see
Yeah.
it, Andrea, but you were both like, oh, golf. Okay.
It's Christian. Everyone's entitled to their opinions.
This is hot takes. I'm glad. That's a good sign. I'm not being easily agreeable. All right, third hot take.
Third hot take. Okay, this might be another controversy. I might get the press into some issues.
Okay. Oh, no.
Caitlin Clark. I know this is like I'm very repetitive, but Caitlin Clark, the hype, I don't get it. I think she's a very talented player, but I don't get the hype. And I may be coming from the place of, again, where I support my black woman, but also I think one player was being put down when another one was being put up. Again, phenomenal player, but I think that she is not, like people will say, older people watch a WNBA is for Caitlin Clark. It's like, no. We have MVPs like Asia Wilson. We have Angel Reese. We have these players that, you like the competition. So that's why you're watching it. You're not watching it for one player. She honestly did contribute significantly to viewers, but I don't get the hype.
Now, why do you think she gets so much hype in particular?
Again, phenomenal player. Her skill, very talented woman. But I think people overcompensate because it was back in NCAA, it was Angel versus, this is what the media put out. The narrative was Angel versus Caitlin. And this is where Caitlin got the saint on the court. She can't do anything wrong. She doesn't egg on her opponents. And then Angel got that she's loud, she's ghetto. She does her lashes, she does her nails. And you're putting one up, but you're also bringing one down. And why is this one being brought down? Because Angel also is a very talented player. And you'll see it on the internet a lot. People love making edits where it's like making fun of her looks, her appearance. But Caitlin Clark would be like, her making every basket. And even when she has reactions on the court where they're like negative reactions, they're like, oh, the other player deserved it. So I don't get the hype.
And you kind of have to wonder if one player can be brought up without another being pushed down, too, at the same time. Right? Why can't one player just be celebrated without having to take it out on another player negatively? You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, I don't know enough about her playing, or really anyone's playing, to comment on not understanding the hype.
Yeah.
But I do think that maybe the culture around not pushing down one person just to elevate, or the other way around, not elevating one person at the expense of another, maybe I think is, I would agree with that.
For sure, yeah.
Okay. Now, I think we have time for one or two more. I think you're going to disagree with this one.
Okay.
I would, in fact, I have done this. I would rather watch the Super Bowl ads than the Super Bowl.
Oh, I agree.
You agree with that? Is that agreeable?
Yeah, I don't want to watch a bunch of men run into each other for like 3 hours. I love the commercial. I love the halftime show. I love the commercials. Yes,
They're fun.
no.
Thank you.
I agree 110% because I think 80% of this world watches it for the halftime show.
Yeah.
You hear about that. I personally, I hear about the halftime show before I hear about anything else.
If I wanted to watch a bunch of sweaty guys rolling over each other, I'm sure I'd find a way.
Many other platforms.
I'm there for the commercials. Okay. You were saying you'd rather watch the half. What was it you said about Bad Bunny?
Yeah. Everyone was saying that, why is the Super Bowl just a Bad Bunny concert with a football game next to it?
See?
And also, Bad Bunny was getting heat because they were like, this is an American thing. Why? Like, I know, like, they making like Bad Bunny the halftime show with everything going on with Trump caused like an uprise, obviously, and they were like, this is an American thing, so why are we making? And I was like, oh, come on, you want an American, like, Let's be for real. Like, so I think that the halftime show and the commercials are way more entertaining than watching these men like fight for a ball.
For me, it's not about men or women or anything in this. I mean, it's just about like I'm just not interested. Honestly,
no,
in sport.
I agree.
I think the ads are fun. I think they're enjoyable. They're creative and unique. Sometimes they get celebs in it. Yeah, that's my take. Lock it in.
No, that's locked in for sure.
All right.
That's locked in. I agree. I can't even sit through. If it's playing, it's because my family's watching it and I'm just there for the drinks, like to hang out. You know, I'm not there to watch.
100%. I'm there for something else.
I'm there for
all right. Why don't we each give one more, I think. All right. Go ahead. Hit me with your hottest take.
Okay. In the I keep going back to basketball, women's basketball.
That's
but
fine.
I think college stars are more culturally relevant than veteran WNBA players.
Whoa. Veteran WNBA players. Okay. See, I know even less about college players than I do about
That's like
veteran players.
Culturally relevant though.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say better players because I don't agree.
Veteran players is what
I think the media loves college ball.
It's the next generation.
It is the next generation, and I think that they're very entertaining watching these girls. Even March Madness, that's a huge thing for the college and basketball, even men's and women's, right? We have the Elite Eight. We're going on to the Final Four. Like, I think that college leagues, culturally, I think they're much like...
They get more conversation?
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. I know I do sometimes hear online about college teams, and I'm surprised how much I hear about them. Yeah. But it's cool to see. I like it. I think it's good. No,
my For You page has something else on it.
There you go. I think that's great. I think it's great to celebrate the next generation. And I think it's cool that people want to like pick up certain people from college.
And I honestly I enjoy it because these girls, they're here to fight. They're here.
Yeah.
It's not like, again, it's not where you have your position. You want your position. So you're gonna fight for your position, and I love watching that.
You're not just born to LeBron James and
I'm bored of him.
Wake up in a cradle on a basketball court. No. All right. I'll give you one more.
All right.
I'm gonna guess that we're going to agree on this. But that's just my wager. Chess is not a sport. I don't care what anyone says.
I disagree. No, I'm just kidding. I agree.
You agree?
I
agree.
agree.
Feel free to disagree. Maybe I should.
No. I agree. I think
it's a board game.
It's
a board game.
Okay. It definitely is a board game. Like, where's the action? Where's the movement? I know it's in your brain, but that's how board games work. You can't say it's a mental sport, because then what? Is Goldfish a mental sport too?
What is Scrabble? Hungry Hippos?
Yeah. Like,
where's that at the Olympics? Where's tic-tac-toe at the Olympics? I think there needs to be a distinction made.
I don't know who started the chess is a sport propaganda, but I would really like a conversation with them because I need to hear the rationale.
Let me be clear. That's not a diss against chess. I think it's a totally fine board game, okay?
Yes.
But it's not a sport. That's like saying, looking at a movie and calling it a visual book. It's like, it's not a book. It's a movie. It's something else.
Even if it has subtitles, it's a movie.
It's still a movie.
Exactly.
And it's okay. You don't have to be a sport. You can be a board game.
Yeah, you could be a board. It's okay.
Don't be ashamed, chess. Take pride and ownership in what you are.
I agree. Be your own person. Be your own thing. I don't write about chess because it's not in my jurisdiction because I don't think it's a sport. But chess is cool. We're not gonna,
chess is cool.
Come down on chess.
But it's cool.
Yeah, but you're just not a sport.
No. All right. Well, I think that just about wraps up all the time we have. This was a great.
Yeah, it's fun conversation. Yes,
I enjoyed this. I was a little worried about sports because I don't know that much, but I feel like you made it very easy to talk about, and your points are very easy to understand, even for someone who doesn't watch that much sports and learns most about it through your articles and Jonah's articles. So thank you for that. I will just, as always, say that we are taking volunteer articles. So if anyone is listening and you have a hot sports take you want to write about. Volunteer at broadpress.com. Come on.
You might have fun. And then next year, you could take my position.
There you go. No, but seriously, I mean, read through what we've got on the site, read through Alyssa's articles, and Jonah's as well. We've got some past sports editors on there too. And if there's something you want to cover, for sure, reach out.
Yeah.
And we can talk. I'm sure we can work something out.
And
educate
always
you
reach
further.
out to me. Have any questions? 110%. Like if like you're writing a volunteer article, you can hit me up and I'll help.
And if you have any hate mail about any of these hot takes, or you really don't like sports, or you really don't like golf, excuse me, send it right to your trash bin on your computer. I'm just kidding. All right.
Write a Google review.
There you go. Yeah, write another Google review. There
Yeah,
we
we
go.
love
We don't have
that.
enough of those.
It was amazing.
All right. Thanks, Alyssa.
All right,
Bye,
thank
everybody.
you. Bye.